Morning, folks. Welcome to the Joey Show. I'm Joey Avery. Thanks so much for joining us. Episode 75. And what a special one. We've got a lot of news to we're going to get back to business as usual today. Before we do, I just want to start by thanking everyone who listened to last week's show. It was, it's a small community here at the 12. But it's a very nice community, and the people I've talked to in person, the messages, everyone who listened to the episode about my dad, I really appreciate it. I'm glad it seemed to resonate with a lot of people. I wasn't sure if I should put it out, if this was the right platform for it, but it's a pretty private club, huh? But I do want to say thank you. Kind of got to get back to the normal show here at some point because I don't want this to become a show about grieving. But that being said, it definitely is something that I'll use when there's stuff that I want to communicate about that because it was helpful for me and it seemed to be helpful for a lot of people. And honestly, I just really appreciate it. So thank you guys very much. It is a tough thing because, as everyone talks about, like the further that you get away from it, you're not walking around like an open wound all the time, but the more normal things feel, then that also feels weird because you're like, well, I don't want it to feel normal. I want to feel what I'm feeling and what's happening. I wrote something down that was like, it's like the terrible feeling in your gut versus the terrible feeling of all of it going away. And I don't remember if I said that last week. I blacked out. But, some parts of life suck ass. And that's okay. And we have each other, and we have the 12, and we're gonna get into some more fun stories this week. Gonna release this a little early because I'm going out camping. I'm gonna be in the wilderness. I'm gonna be amongst the animals, dude. Me and the bears and the twinks. It's a unique camp. No, it's gonna be out there. It's gonna be nice. So releasing this a little bit early because I didn't want to leave you hanging. I do think, there's really only one way to pivot here. I think if we're going to get back to what we usually do here at the show, there's really only one news story that I think could bring us back, which is about Sydney Sweeney's Nazi boobs, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on out there. And I check back in. I'm dealing with grief. I'm heading into a very important wedding, an incredible wedding, one of the best weddings. We love an incredible wedding. One of the best weddings. They don't make them like that anymore, folks. Brought back the band Radical Something. We love them. An incredible wedding. I come back, though, because I'm like, you come back emotionally. Like, I'm like, I need to check back in with the world, see what's going on, find out what's happening out there in the planet. I'm like, when I'm not paying attention to the news, what happens? Bad things could happen when I'm not paying attention. When I am paying attention, things are great all the time. As you can tell, as people in the Middle East know, I've been doing a good job of keeping things in check. I come back to planet Earth, and the thing that I see is everyone is freaking out over a Sydney Sweeney ad that apparently is modern-day Nazi propaganda. Now, folks, this is news to me. I did not know that Sydney Sweeney was a Nazi. She did the ad for American Eagle. I assumed that they were. That was just I assumed that that's what that was. I thought that they came out of the grand tradition of like Hollister, America. It's basically those two stores. Any store, okay, that like when you grew up in the 90s and you had like bleached tips and braces and an undershirt, okay, and you're covered in Axe body spray and you're at the mall, and you're like, fuck you, Mom, get out of here, I need to buy my puka shoes. And you'd walk into the mall, and then there would just be like a man, like just a hot person, white person. This is what they chose to do, folks. I'm just letting you know. A hot person just standing out front of the store, okay, smelling like a dehydrated rose petal because they'd been pumping them full of some sort of scent that was supposed to be something. I don't know what they were doing, to be honest. The mall is too many smells. Can we take a diversion here? Why is everyone at the mall trying to make stuff? I can't go from getting wrapped in butter at Auntie Anne's to getting absolutely shit pumped by a bizarre perfume outside of American Eagle in 2 seconds. This is a lot. This is a lot for me. And mind you, I'm at the mall, so I am 13. I'm a 13-year-old Mexican. I'm at the mall, okay? I am 13 years old. I'm standing in a food court. I am pumped full of, you're on drugs, right? The hormones is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you were on drugs at that age. I was. That's neither here nor there. That's a story for a different time. I'm at the mall. I am pumped full of hormones. I'm basically half, I'm just wandering around having a crush with something. And then American Eagle or Hollister, as far as I'm concerned, they're the same company. Are they different companies? Can anyone tell me if they're different companies? I'm pretty sure they're the same company. There's a hot person standing outside of the store. I'm 13. The hot person is 16. That is not fair. That's an uneven playing ground. And it's either what you want to be or it's who you want to be with. But also you're 13 and you're like, okay? That's how these stores operated. They called the people who ran them models. Again, that could be Hollister. Folks, I don't care. It's the same store. Look it up. I'm correct. So anyway, the people who launched these companies are all creeps and weirdos, okay? But are they actually Nazis? This is the question that we're here to cover today on the Joey Show. Yes, hard pivot from discussing grief, but the show is supposed to be about the intersection of boobs and politics. And folks, we've been blessed with something because we have exactly that. All right? We get the two things the internet is interested in doing is calling everybody Hitler and cranking, stick, cranking, hog, flicking bean to a lesser extent, but an extent nonetheless. The internet is a place to be horny and to be mad. All right? Nothing else. We thought there was a promise to the internet age. Oh, what if everyone, oh my God, what if we gave everyone information? They'd be so happy. No. They'll be very mad because there's going to be a lot of information, and then the only information that's going to punch through is that which makes people mad, which makes this ad, this piece of apparent, and we're going to go through it and we'll make a decision. This piece of apparent Nazi propaganda, a very effective ad, because if you want people online to pay attention to you, you need to call someone Hitler or show them boobs. This ad does both effectively. They should study it in classes. They should teach this in marketing school. Is marketing school a thing? I think it's called ASU. Any one of these schools they're like books. No. You got to fuck each other. And that's how you learn marketing. You walk around ASU, okay? You learn how to, I got to send out flyers to a frat party. That's marketing. Use boobs. Be a Nazi. These are good ideas. Now let's not clip that. Calm down. We're not clipping that. I'm not saying that that's a good. I'm just saying, folks, it's hard to cut through. online these days, okay? We thought the promise of the internet was like, oh, we'll just have information everywhere. And then, like, children in Uganda will be reading Wikipedia pages. They'll be like, oh, my God. The periodic table. That's not a good, guys, I don't know, different. Okay. It's a one-man show. You're trying to make things entertaining. You do accents. Do they land? No. Does that make me a Nazi? Send me to the top of the rankings. I'll show you my boobs. Milky. Got off track. So this ad might be okay. Let's watch the ad. All right, you may have seen it by now, but you might be curious. What's the ad? How do we know? Okay, that it's being racist. In what sense is this a Nazi ad? We're going to play a snippet because there's a few different ones, and I don't want you to get confused. Because there are some Sydney Sweeney ads where she just says, what are genes? They make my butt look, I don't know. Well, let's watch the one people are upset about.
See what I did there, right? Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
So there it is. That is the concern right there. That is what people are concerned about. We're gonna address it. Sorry, I got distracted. There are ants on my computer. The outdoor studio is a little different, folks. Good and bad parts to it. That's okay. Can we start by discussing her voice? Does she actually the voice is unique to me. Genes are.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
My genes are blue.
My genes are blue. That's like actually the voice that I was using to describe the version of me that used to go to American Eagle. They know what they're doing, folks. They know what they're doing. Now, people's concern, okay, people on the left, on the TikTok left specifically, their concern is that you can trace lines of this argument to eugenics, the idea that they're using a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman, a white woman's Instagram. The fact that they're using a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman to say, now these are what great genes are, is what people are saying is perhaps disrespectful. It perhaps has links to racist things. I saw some guy was like, "Who wrote this ad? Joseph Goebbels." Now, I want to be clear. I understand that hitting people in an odd way. I don't think that was the intent. I also want to congratulate those people for seeing Sydney Sweeney as a white woman. I did not know that. I literally did not know that human pair of tits had a race. I'm kidding. But, okay, I do think that the average American person, when discussing Sydney Sweeney's genetics, is not like, oh my God, she's so creamy and white and the best because of how white she is. There's a lot of white women out there that would not get booked for that ad. And it's because they're a little lactose intolerant. You know what I mean? The main thing is, America as a society has decided not a married man, but America as a society it's not me. I was not involved. No one consulted me. But as a society, America has decided we want to bang that woman. Okay? And that could be, there's a lot of ways you could do it. Some people do a T and F, a titty fuck. That's what some people do. They mush them together, okay, and then they just run it through there. It's an odd thing. I think that's mainly done for cinematic purposes. That's not the point. The point is, I don't think when they were writing that ad, they were like, "Yo, let's dog whistle to whatever very small part of the population is like, she's white, that's good." That's weird. No. They could have done that exact same. The only thing they couldn't have done, okay, and the reason that they chose a girl with blue eyes so they could do My Jeans Are Blue. They're doing blue jeans. It makes sense. Is there a weird undercurrent to that? I understand, okay? I understand that. But I want to commend the people who are so online that they're trying to impress Nazis because they want to sell clothes to Nazis, because most people, the average person, and marketing does go for the average person, is just like, tits. There's a long history, okay, in America, probably the world, but in America specifically, what I can speak to is of there being a hot chick and someone making a commercial with their boobs, right? Was it Jessica Simpson? I believe it was Jessica Simpson, who did a really nice, was it Carl's Jr. ad where she was washing a car. Wait a second. Was she washing a car in Daisy Dukes? Was it the Dukes of Hazzard car? And is it... Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have uncovered the deepest conspiracy of all. Oh, no. Well, folks, I spilled water directly onto my computer there during that, that exchange. And this is how they try to get you when you're telling the truth. What is it? Is it like a concussion? I can't let my computer go to sleep now. I think water and technology are friends now. That should be fine. Either that or I'm going to need to find a big old vat of rice. But we've gotten off track, and this is not the point. In fairness to both sides, you can watch that commercial and understand a little bit of ooh, this feels a little weird. On the other hand, I am always curious because look, I think there are probably some people who work at American Eagle who are like, this doesn't feel great. But I have just seen this go too many times before to realize this is going to work out for them. Okay, the stock rose. I think the market caught up to me, but I had a long history of buying stocks that dipped after outrage. I made a ton of money on Peloton after they had some commercial that people got mad because they're like, what is a woman supposed to work out? And I was like, sure, okay, if you're mad, I'll buy. And then I sold mid-pandemic, made a lot. And since then, not doing stocks anymore because this is not the point. This will be fine for them, because they have gained a ridiculous amount of earned media, because this plays directly into the TikTok sphere where all these people can say oh, this is, if you actually understand the history, this actually has ties to white nationalism and also Nazism, and it's a dog whistle, and people on TikTok will just be like, yes, 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 I need a 3-minute clip of this. It makes me feel smart. It makes me feel like I understand what's going on. And then the right will be like, the left is all lunatics. Look at this fucking non-binary trans crazy person trying to give you a college essay in front of a flag. We need to buy American Eagle, even though the right used to be the people who are like, don't put tits in commercials. And now it's going to be fine because the average person shopping at American Eagle isn't the person on TikTok watching short-form video essays. It's the kid at the mall that I was describing to you. That was me wearing an undershirt, puka shells. I have a crush on a lady. In love with Sydney Sweeney, has just seen this commercial 100 times now and is buying the goddamn product. The stock will be fine. I wonder how much they knew exactly what they were doing as if this would work. Now they have Prime. They're in the A block of the Joey Show. That's a goddamn direct hit. That's what every marketing team dreams of. They knew exactly what they were doing. Maybe, and even if they didn't, it's going to work out. Because the hardest thing to do online is punch through. If you work in marketing, you're like, how do we get people to watch this? You can make something good and timeless and classic and thoughtful. That's about how, like, we love dogs and, like, life is good. You know, humans are good and dogs are good and our genes are good and we love each other. That doesn't work online. That works on a commercial. That's what used to work. It'd be like Wrangler jeans. It was like Brett Favre throwing a long pass to a golden retriever. America. Now they only get coverage if they're still sponsoring Brett Favre and he sends his dick to a woman in the Jets facility. America. That's what America wants. Astronomer. Look at what happened with Astronomer. We didn't cover it. Okay, I'm not talking about Galileo. I'm talking about the AI company Astronomer. If only they made laptops that would help me. Oh, I think we dried off here. Astronomer, as many of you know, was involved in somehow the story of the year, in which at a Coldplay show, Chris Martin puts the camera, well, not him, but the camera person puts the camera on, right? And we see two people, they get embarrassed immediately. It ends up being the CEO of Astronomer, the head of HR, and then someone next to them who Astronomer denies, but a lot of people are saying was another person who worked at the company, looking like a sloppy, messy third friend who knew what was going on, going like, oh my God. This becomes the meme of the century. Why? Because it's dark enough to capture people's hearts, but playful enough to make fun of it. It lives in that level of like humor is often about horrible things. It is the thing that diffuses situations. It is, you know, you make jokes when, you know, we talked about grief in the real and literal sense on the last show, but you know, as time goes on, every once in a while you deal with it by making a joke where people go, ooh. And it's a way that we soften the blow. The old adage is, you know, tragedy plus time equals comedy. I don't really know the math, like transitive property. If you did comedy divided by time equals, well, that's not the fucking point. The point is that it's a funny thing to make fun of because it's basically a minor tragedy. And also people don't like, it was like a more playful Luigi. It was like, we're coming for the CEO who's being a bad guy. All right. And also it's funny to watch people get caught in the act at a Coldplay show. Astronomer, an AI company. Okay. What does that mean? That means every company ever now. Astronomy is a B2B AI company. I haven't really looked into it, but the point is, their marketing is basically trying to generate leads. They want to get some eyeballs, but they want those eyeballs to be qualified people at other businesses. Okay, they don't necessarily care about what people would call B2C marketing, business to consumer. They don't need to do the American Eagle, hey, we need to pay Sydney Sweeney because look at them. Okay? They're not in the tits game. They're like generating white papers and sending them out to other nerds who are like, that actually would help my data stack. Or something like that. But they have a moment. Now all of a sudden, searches for this company are going up by the bajillions. And some of those people, albeit not a high percentage, some of those people are going to be qualified leads. So what did they do? They used their moment. They went out and get Gwyneth Paltrow, the lady who makes pussy candles. It's true. She makes pussy candles. What do I mean? Look it up. I think she makes candles that smell like her own pussy. Am I wrong about this? Okay, send that call to voicemail and search pussy candles. Sorry, let's Gwyneth Paltrow. I believe they're called Goop, which is disgusting. Gwyneth Paltrow pussy candles. You know, and that's a decent band name. Gwyneth Paltrow and the Pussy Cat. Yes, a candle that smells like her vagina. It is Goop Vagina Candle was a feminist statement. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I want to die, right? And I don't. I enjoy this. But the concept of every ridiculous thing is a statement. Everything is it's a statement. Here's our statement. We're using these boobs to make you Nazis. It's a statement. It's a statement. It's a statement. All right? What they're going to do, by the way, American Eagle, and I can tell you this right now, is they're going to have to rifle through, we'll get back to Gwyneth Paltrow, they're going to have to rifle through a lot of different celebrities because they're going to go to like Beyonce, and Beyonce's going to be like, you couldn't afford me to drag you out of this hole, but they'll find someone, okay, and they will find someone who is not white, okay, and has probably, and I'm not stereotyping, a big, rotund, magnificent, juicy poop shoot, a big booty, if you will, okay? Something that Sir Mix-a-Lot would like a lot and not lie about it. And they will also do the Good Genes campaign with them, and they will prove the point that you can make a jeans pun about people from a lot of different races, and as long as it's a hot girl, it'll work. And then people will make a million TikTok. But they'll still get more earned media from that, and people will be like, ooh. So they're the marketing department right now at American Eagle, it's a room full of people, okay? And I've been in marketing meetings. There's a room full of people, and they're sitting there, okay? And there's a couple people, they got there early, okay? They are women. I'm not going to guess their race, but they're probably white and upset on behalf of other people, okay? They're there early, and they're pissed. They have a Stanley Cup in front of them, and they're like, tell me one reason why I shouldn't leave. Jeffrey, this is your fucking campaign. Tell me one reason why I shouldn't leave. I have people out there. People are blowing up my phone asking me why I work for not. There are people at this company right now that feel unsafe. And there are 8 other people at the meeting listening, nodding, going, that's true. That's true, and we'll need to hire, and we'll hire some grief counselors and some diversity consultants for people, and we have set that aside in the budget. But I think what's important for us to note is that this is the most exciting moment in American Eagle history since 2001. That's right, since 9/11. American Eagle has not had this much of a marketing moment, a galvanizing moment where people care about us since 9/11. And I'm not being callous about a tragedy. I'm just saying that in 2001 was the peak of American Eagle's powers. And then guess what? Also, their name was American Eagle. And guess what? People wanted to fly, not planes, American Eagles. They were feeling patriotic, feeling good, and they were excited. And there are people at that marketing meeting right now, and they are typing away. They are looking at numbers, and they're saying, I'm sorry that you feel unsafe, but here's a graph, Jessica. Here's a graph. And what we have right now, they're giving their miracle speech right now. This is their miracle on ice. What we have right now, great moments are born of great opportunities. And that's what we have right now. If they called us Nazis 10 times, they might be right 9. But not today. Not today. Today, we TikTok with them. Today, okay? That's what they're talking about. And they're saying right now we have a moment, and we have a campaign, and we have something that worked. We have great genes. And they're looking around, the meeting, and they're like, oh, fuck, we are all white. Well, I shouldn't have phrased it that way. The point is everyone has great genes. We all do. I mean, yeah, come on. That's what the video response that they should do. They should come out and just be like, and it should just be like this CEO of American Eagle being like, come on, we think white people have better genes? I'm a football fan. Watch the games. I'm not an idiot. I think we have we have our genes are they're all right. I mean, they're okay, but come on now, dude. That's it's obvious. That actually brings me. I want to show you a clip. All right, about great genes. Okay, and I by the way, I don't think this man. I don't disagree. I don't think he says anything that's incorrect here. But I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this as a counterpoint to the concept that everyone's looking at that going, we know who has good genes, do we?
What's the question that they ask you most about how you got 3 kids to go D1 and 2 in the NFL?
They want to know, in general, how I did it. I believe in breeding. Look at you. Good athlete. I'm black, mom's white. Now, I don't step on it once. You can't keep stepping on it because you're going to mess it up. You're going to weaken it.
You can't keep cutting it?
Can't keep cutting it. Now, no, you in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn's half. You got a chance.
If I cut it one more time, it's over?
You can't keep cutting it. You got to be careful. You can't keep cutting it. You got to think about that. You know what I mean? No.
I like how he's dead ass.
If I'm black, I got the black gold running through my veins. Oh, I'm excited. I'm just going to find the right person to mate with. Right? And if I'm white, I'm saying, let me get one of these brothers around here. If you want to have athletes. If you don't have athletes, then just go ahead and just spread your seed wherever.
So why'd you cut it once with us?
Because he could.
I know I can cut it once.
Because he's gold.
I got that black gold in me. And Mama got that big chin and big toes. I said, look, ain't nothing wrong with big toe woman.
Big chin. Who says a big chin?
You got to think of this stuff. Some guys don't think of it until later. They go, like I'm standing at Pop Warner. You wouldn't know it. You on the field, and one of you guys on the field playing. And I was talking to a guy. Told him this story. He goes, you were thinking about that, John? I go, yeah, you weren't? He goes, hell no. Like, man, he's little, the wife is little, kids are little, everybody's little.
It's over?
Little. Chicken little.
Little.
So that is the new spokesman of American Eagle. That's what you do right now. You take Amon St. Brown's father. If you're not a football fan, Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best. His brother also plays in the NFL. Good genes. You take Amon St. Brown's father, and that's your new spokesman for American Eagle. You do that right now. That dude is proud of his genes, and he is a gene spokesman to a point that if I was I'm not qualified to speak on that, but that's a level of breeding discussion that would make some people uncomfortable. But is he wrong? He's got that black gold. Okay? I am little chicken little. That's fine. That's your new spokesman for a lot of reasons. One, he's the only one who can flip this campaign on its head, and he believes in his goddamn genes, and he does. And I bet you can make black jeans at American Eagle, too. I'd give that a shot. And then, two, also, as we know, he likes white women. So you put him and Sydney Sweeney together, the chemistry would be unmatched. He would just be sitting there going, oh, God dang. This reminds me of an anecdote. And it's an anecdote that I forgot about. This is when Sydney Sweeney first flopped onto the scene. She was very popular at the time, okay? And I was going through one of my many physical ailments. I had a broken ankle, and I was at the airport, and I was getting the old airport push-around. Gentleman, happened to be black, pushing me around in an airport, wheelchair. And I opened my phone simply to Instagram at the time, and I get served with just a full-on, a Sydney Sweeney photo, and the bust is filling up a lot of the screen there, and the guy is apparently skyboxing me, looking over the shoulder, looking at my phone, and he starts laughing out loud, and he goes, "Think that's a little bit much for you to handle, young buck. You might need to wait until you're healthier." And I'll never forget it as long as I lived. It was a beautiful moment. Two guys connecting over one shred of perverveness. Is that a word? It works. I wasn't mean. I wasn't like, just tweaking out, like being a weirdo, like, let me look at nasty photos. No, I just opened up Instagram, and Instagram, as American Eagle knows, hit the algorithm and was like, this is getting likes, watch it. And he just loved it, and he died. And these are the moments that we connect over. It's a shared interest. It's a beautiful thing. That's what they were trying to tap into there. Because the funny thing about attractive women is that everyone prefers them. Girls are more interested in looking at attractive women than attractive guys. I know some people are going to be like, you're just assuming that. I'm not. Look at the numbers. I have gone on this platform, and I have discussed at length how hot I think Brad Pitt is, and how we all need to appreciate that, regardless of some of his personal life things that we don't need to get into at this time. But it doesn't do the same numbers. Because girls see a hot chick and they're like, oh my God, she's so hot. And guys see a hot chick and they're like, oh my God, she's so hot. And people are pretending like they're using hot women to divide us, when we all know it brings people together. It brings people together. Okay? I remember I was sitting in a car with my friends, my comedy friends. Okay? Fun, diverse group. We have an Afghan. We have a Filipino. We have a poor-looking white and a rich-looking white. It's a good group. And we were looking out the window. We saw a girl walk by. Okay? Dumper, large, significant turd cutter. Walks by, and we watch a black guy and a Mexican guy both whiplash. Their heads go from left to right, just being creeps, okay? They watch this girl walk. They then look at the car, and all four of us are looking at them. The six of us, a general UN convention, a United Nations of dudes, all looked at each other and just gave a nod. Just a knowing nod, a normal nod, okay? Not being weird guy. This isn't the 80s. We're not catcalling. We're not bothering this person, okay? We did it in the dead of night like assassins. And then we came back, we looked together, and all these people from all these different backgrounds, they looked at each other and they were like, pleasantly and non-weirdly, we enjoyed that. And you know what? If there was a woman there too, she might have as well. She might have as well. And I think, okay, they could have worded that ad better. Let's be honest. Let's be fair about that. Let's be real. They needed to word that ad better. There was some weird undertones there. I don't think it was intentional, but it worked better than they could have ever imagined. We don't support Nazis here, but we do believe in the power of boobs to bring people together, and I think we need to get back to that. But you know what? In a fractured society where the media ecosystem, if you just do a commercial and it's like girl being hot at the Super Bowl, it's not going to work anymore. It's really not. That doesn't have the juice anymore. We're like addicts. The internet has turned us into addicts. We need more than just that. We need that plus the debate. Not the assumption that you're being a Nazi. The nebulous debate that people can see what they want to see in it and then have a conversation about. I think it's possible they knew what they were doing, and they will not divide us. Okay? They will not divide us. We need to use these things to bring us together. But companies, politicians, podcasters, they know what needs to happen to get numbers these days. Goddamn fucking Nelk Boys are having Netanyahu come on their podcast. Now, some of you said, what was that sentence? To which I say, do I even have the time? I guess I have to let my computer dry out. The Nelk Boys are a podcast of idiots. They've been very successful. They've made a lot of money. They came up through pranking YouTube. They then kind of latched on to right-wing Trumpy YouTube. They're friends with Dana White. They've had Trump on the program, and somehow they just had Netanyahu on the program, and they asked him very important questions, such as, what do you get at McDonald's? important things to ask while starving a population of children, I think. Now, I understand if you have someone on, you're going to do some icebreakers and things like that, but I've watched the Nelk Boys interview political figures before, and their main thing is like, whoa, what? Why do you think that? And then a person says something, and they're like, that's crazy. So, like, do you think that the left is, like, being hella gay about shit with you? And then they're like, yeah. And they're like, that's so crazy, dude. And that's the whole thing. I mean, they're genuinely dumb. And I do think we need to decouple the concept of success and intellect, because I do think a lot of times it takes intellect to be successful. I think a lot of times it takes a mix of that and hard work, and we know luck, but sometimes it kind of just happens. And sometimes the best thing you can do is be a fucking idiot, because there's a lot of other idiots out there that want to listen to what an idiot has to say and then be like, that makes sense. The point is this: the types of things that rile people up generate engagement, and then people use that engagement as a concept for success. So the Nelk Boys can have someone on who is credibly accused of executing a G word. Does that get monetized on YouTube? It doesn't matter. I'm not monetized. What am I even doing? And then they can just look at the people commenting and be like, haters. And then it goes to like 3, 4, 5, 6 million views. And then they're sitting at the end of their year doing a year-end report like the people at American Eagle going, well, we did do one thing that worked. And it was the thing that pissed everybody off. And we'll all talk about it, and I'll play into it too because it's interesting and this is life. And I'll keep making this same point over and over again because it's how the world works and it's important, you know. Because if my career stalls any further and I get to the point where I'm like, dude, I have a child, I need to make money, just every clip will just be pure rage bait. I'll just change, like if I just changed my comedy style to like comedian touches black person's hair, it'd be like 10 million views a clip. We don't do that here. We're inclusive. This is a society of people here at the 12 that's built on love, that's built on foundation, that's built on the shared connection, okay, of understanding what fires us up. Boobs. I'm just kidding. Not meant to be a pervy episode. I'm just telling you that this undercurrent is how society works. Okay, I don't walk around all day thinking about boobs. I think about philosophy. I think about art. I think about science. I think about life and death and what it all means. But people online are literally just thinking about boobs, and you need to remember that whenever you're confused at what's happening around you. It's very simple sometimes. It's outrage and tits. That's the society that we live in. Our culture, okay, is based on that. And it works. So back to Astronomer, and they are brilliant. They got Gwyneth Paltrow, who used to be with Coldplay Man, to address the controversy. Now, this is not an outrage ad, but it's an ad that you play when you know the world is watching you and you want to talk about what you want to talk about.
Thank you for your interest in Astronomer. Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300-plus employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes,
oh my God,
Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow, unifying the experience of running data, ML, and AI pipelines at scale. We've been thrilled so many people have a newfound interest in data workflow automation. As for the other questions we've received,
how is your social media team holding?
There is still room available at our Beyond Analytics event in September. We will now be returning to what we do best, delivering game-changing results for our customers. Thank you for your interest in Astronomer.
That's how it's done, folks. That's just good advertising. You fire the people that were a problem. You take the heat. You hire a famous lady with tie-ins to Coldplay. You reroute back. That's solid. But I'll tell you why it's solid, because it's B2B. They have interest, and they want to take people back into AI stuff. if you want to get the C, if you want to get the people, the C, the consumer, you got to go outrage sometimes, folks, and I wish it wasn't true, but it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for this week. I'm going to be out. Camping. I guess I'll leave you with a message. One little thought that has been percolating for me a little bit outside the realm of the immediate political sphere. Just a great quote, a great thought, a great reminder for me, for all of you. And this one is the quote, "Comparison is the thief of joy." It's a good one. It was something that I was noticing, when I'm back home with family, in the Bay Area, or I was able to go up to Tahoe recently, or walking around. I've realized that I've reached an age where most of walking around, if it is in a nice area, is just looking at houses and wishing that I had them. And it kind of struck me that that's a lot of what I do in my life. It's impossible to avoid. If you go on social media, you're just basically life shopping. You're looking at people's lives and wishing you had them. You're seeing photos of the fun things they're doing. You probably follow some people in your same career. You're seeing awards or accolades or recognition that they're getting that you're not. And people only want to share things that are going well, that look nice, without the full, complete picture of the difficult things, struggles they may be going back to. And a lot of it sometimes can feel pointed towards you, and it's not at all, but it's the way that the brain works. It's probably some evolutionary shit that I don't understand, but it's something that I just caught myself doing. And one of the things that, my dad passing put into stark relief, along with the thoughts that were more focused on him, was it brought into my mind things that I felt like I was doing wrong in my own life. Just things that you realize, like, oh, I'm caught up in something that doesn't really matter as much. And wandering around wishing that, looking at photos of Jeff Bezos' wedding, or looking at some giant house that I could never afford because someone bought it, 30 years ago, or looking at all this stuff, all that does is invalidate the shit that I have in my own life that a bunch of other people are looking at going, why can't I have that? And it creates a pyramid of an entire society where nobody feels like they're happy or fulfilled, except for the people at the top, who we know definitely don't feel that way because they got there and they're like, oh, this wasn't what it was all about anyway. So if you're in that mode, if you're in that flow, which I felt like I was in, and it was not good, and I'm just trying to break out of it, it's, of course, the thing that everyone says, focus on gratitude. I'm saying it like it's boring because it's been said, but it's still good, and it's a great reminder. There's a lot of people who wish they were living your life, and guess what? It doesn't fucking matter, because they never will be, and you never will be anyone else's, and you probably have a lot of good blessings and things to be happy for, and it's probably better to remember that before you spend your entire life wandering around thinking about what you don't have until it's all over, and then missing what you did have when you had it all along. So, don't do that. Don't do that at all. That's the show for the week, folks. Thank you very much for listening. Come out and see me on tour, joeyavery.com/live. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube. Comment helps the algorithm on the Spotify as well. Make sure you're subscribed to my main channel. I put out I guess I haven't promoted this on that, but I put out a 50-minute, really fun kind of crowd worky special. Talked about some Epstein stuff, did a bunch of crowd work. It was a really fun show from Florida, and keep an eye, because I got a ton more stuff coming out there leading up to the special later this year, and maybe another crowd work special, and all things that, if none of them go well, I will just switch to full-on outrage. And I'm going to get breast implants and make Nazi innuendo until this channel works. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to have to. We're at episode 75. Okay, we got till we by 100. Okay, the 12 needs to take off. I'm telling you, dude. I believe in us. It's not about me. It's about us. Okay, but we, as the 12, we're not going to look at other podcasts and be like, why do they have fans? We're going to be grateful for the 12 that we got. And then also make sure that we're successful so that the show can keep going and I don't spend a lot of time on something that only costs money. But that's not the point, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I'm Joey Avery. This has been The Joey Show. Good night.
Thank God I have a podcast.